from 14 News, this is Hoops Live Plus.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into another episode of Hoops Live Plus. That is my favorite part, the delay between turning the mic on and just us looking at the camera. And now we're ready, though.
Yes, we are.
It's a nice moment. It's a nice moment of silence to set the scene before we jump on in.
Exactly.
Right?
We don't want to scare people and just go,
No, we don't want it. This isn't Halloween. We're not Boo. We're Hoops Live Plus. And it is week 3 of Hoops Live Plus at that as well. And so, my friend, we will start with some recaps here, and look at that. We've even got our name fonts in the right spot.
Yes.
So now you know my name's Max Parker.
We all know who we are.
This is Aaron Hancock, and now we're both named Weekly Recap. Right, Aaron?
It's all right.
Now you know we're both
We're just ready.
That's right.
You
That's
said
right,
weekly
darn it.
recap. I click weekly recap.
It sure is. All right, we'll start off with Memorial and Bosse. They were playing over at Bosse High School, and a good squad for Shane Burkhart this year. And Dorian Bowen, he is back in the lineup as well. This was a tightly contested one for a bit there in the beginning, and then Bosse, you know that speed, they put it to use. 75-41, Bosse gets the win there. Bosse is fantastic right now in the SIC.
Yeah, man, they're tough. With the addition of Dorian Bowen, who they got there right after Christmas break, he was from Memphis, the high school. He transferred in, and he has been really tough. He's a guy that already practically had 1,000 points, and he just broke it a couple weeks ago. And now you have, of course, Marius Harris, who was already there. Those are a tough 1-2 scoring combo.
In Memphis.
Now, did they really?
Yes, they
okay,
did.
I did not know that. Maybe that's how he ended up at Bosse then.
Look at that. Look at that. All right. Well, good game for Bosse, and they keep on winning here. A tough opponent for North. New Albany coming into town. A very, again, tough team, and they played quick, and they were high-flying. North couldn't quite handle New Albany. 75-57, the win for the Bulldogs. It was close at half, Aaron, when I got there. Yeah. It was very close, actually. And then New Albany just came out the gates firing. They were so quick, and they just did not let up. Yeah,
they're ranked in the overall state top 20 polls. So you know they're good because of that alone. But, I mean, if we got proof here last Friday when we got to see him in person.
Yeah.
And they're the real deal. I don't know that much about them. You probably know more about them because you saw them. But I've seen some of the schools they've beaten, and they've played a couple other schools in our area, and they've won those games, I think.
Well, it was just a sound basketball team. I mean, they had the fundamentals down. They were just rolling. Every time North made a mistake, they capitalized. You see that awesome block there that we had spiked off his head. And then, again, fundamentals there. Take it, find the open man in the corner, hit the three.
Yeah.
New Albany firing on all cylinders.
Fast.
We also had Mater Dei and Heritage Hills going to battle here, and Mater Dei pulls out a good win, 57-48.
Yeah. Yeah, at Heritage Hills, it's always tough to win there, and Heritage Hills is having a really good season, so kudos to Mater Dei, who followed up, by the way, Saturday with a 30-point win over Castle, which was really surprising. Mater Dei, Tate Mallory, Cole Breeden, a younger Heaster brother, I think Brody is his name. They have some really good guys that can do some things there for the Cats. They're going to make some noise in that 2A sectional.
All right, good win for them. We continue on here. Jasper and Northeast DuBois. This was a very close game. Close enough to go into overtime. Northeast DuBois nearly pulling out the win. It would have been their first win, I believe, since 2000 over Jasper. But Jasper narrowly ekes out the win, 46-43.
Yeah, really. Both teams have been solid this year. Jasper's always tough with John Gable, their head coach. He's been there forever. You know he's going to have some tough teams, and as usual, they're a tough nut to crack, thorn in the side of a lot of teams. And then DuBois quietly having a nice year in Class 1A, so they're going to be a team to watch out for when we get into the sectional because they could end up coming out of that. They don't have very many losses this year.
Yeah, a tough team there as well. Now let's go into Kentucky. We had a couple games, I should say a few games going on in Kentucky. We had Davis County and Owensboro Catholic. This is the boys matchup first. Davis County, man, they're tough.
Yeah, they have a three-headed monster. Jonathan Moss, De'Aaron Watkins, and Michael Acton. Boy, they had two of them last year, and then Michael Acton joined them from after transferring from Owensboro, and boy, oh boy, they are a serious threat to get into that Sweet 16 state tournament there in Lexington, and you never know. But getting out of the district's tough enough there in Owensboro. But this was the top 2 matchup we were waiting to see there in Owensboro between them and Catholic, and it didn't disappoint. But Davis County, as you would have expected, coming out on top, they're probably a little bit more talented.
Yeah, they're a tough squad. Another Davis County Owensboro Catholic matchup on the girls' side. This one going the way of the Aces, though, 65-57.
Yeah, Owensboro Catholic every year. You can't count them out. They're always difficult to play against. They always have athletes. Even they might graduate their whole starting lineup. You come back, they're good again the next year. They have some great players again this year, but Davis County's really good. So that was another. Both the boys and the girls matchups we were looking forward to those because Davis County's good. Kennedy Lane right there. They have some players and OC. So could come down to them as well on the girls' side.
Yeah, it sure could. We're fast headed towards postseason. We've got one more game to look at here. Owensboro and Apollo girls going to battle in Owensboro, getting a nice win by 12 here, 50-38 the final.
Yeah, Owensboro still has some players from the team that went to state there a couple of years ago. Not quite as good because they don't have Lyrica Hughes, and she was like a all-world player there in Owensboro. But they're pretty tough still, and Apollo's kind of in rebuilding mode. So they held their own in this game for a while. So.
Yeah, a lot of good matchups from that week. And, of course, with a lot of good matchups, we got a lot of good plays. But before we get to those, we got some games in the snow. That's probably our top top play of the week overall is getting some games played. So that's a win, but we've got plenty more games top plays to talk about here as well. And let's get in now to our first play. Let's do it.
All right, well, you might have seen this in highlights there just a minute ago, but Jonathan Moss just kind of patiently waiting for somebody to cut to the basket, and Michael Acton does it, and he throws it up there, and Acton throws down the hammer. You would have thought maybe that was going to go to Watkins because he's the guy that's 6'7", 6'8", but Acton showing he's got some hops too there.
Yeah, that's some athleticism out there. Now we move on over to Bosse and Memorial. A great block there by Landon Hardy.
Yeah, you got to see that in person there, and those long arms. He was stalking that play the whole way.
He was patrolling down there in the paint. And a good block there.
It's like, come on, throw it up there so I can take it and knock it out of bounds.
Yep, and a good way, great example, defense setting the tone in that one as well, and then they convert it into offense later in the game and get a nice win. Here, we head over to the girls' side of things, and I believe this was from the weekend, yes?
Yeah, this was Saturday, but I had to put it in there because it was such a nice play there by Ryan Wagner. She just shows off the muscles, just ripping that ball out of there, and then patiently waits for something to develop on the break. There's Keela Mitchell. She knows what to do with it.
Nice play there.
Nice
and
play.
Our fourth and final one here, Owensboro Catholic Davis County girls.
Yep. Layla Martin dribbling through most of the Panthers' defense there, going high off the glass, through the contact, and the foul. Nice play there by her.
Yeah, absolutely, and that will do it for our top plays. And now we finish off by looking ahead at what we've got this week. A little bit different of a week here. We're going to have to look as well at, some of the games we have Thursday because we'll have some games played Thursday. We've got games going on all week long in sectionals as well. But here's what we've got right now for Friday, the games that we know. We will have plenty more games that we'll find out about after the sectional matchups here go down earlier in the week. But take me through what we've got already.
Yeah, that's right. We as you said, we'll have to wait because a lot of these first round games tonight in the girls sectionals are going to determine the games on Friday. But as of now, at least we'll start in the boys first. These are some rescheduled games because typically they avoid the girls sectional semifinals, but they got to get these games in somehow from last week. And Bosse at Castle is going to be one of them over in Paradise, and Boonville Heritage Hills. I can't wait to see what happens in that one. That is a really good matchup there. And then in the girls, we already know these sectional matchups in 4A, Wrights and Gibson Southern. Ooh, that should be a doozy.
Yeah, that'll be a showdown.
That is going to be awesome. And then Owensboro Catholic, Davis County Apollo, both girls games. Of course, the boys will play the same matchups as they usually do, those double headers in Kentucky. So
another good schedule and another full schedule that we'll have coming down the line here as we can pop that full schedule out of the way here, and we'll say goodbye.
Yes.
For another week of Hoops Live Plus. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you this Friday. That's where you want to be, late on 14 News at 10. It's our full show, our Hoops Live show. We will see you there, and we will be ready to rock and roll with plenty more highlights. So for now, for my partner Aaron Hancock, my name is Max Parker. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Hoops Live Plus.